These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello, on this Monday, I'm Megan Thompson, tracking your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. The Valley community will continue to honor and pay their respects to Rebecca Baptiste. Today, the 10-year-old girl will be laid to rest. Her family inviting the public to pay their respects in surprise. Baptiste died last month after being found with severe injuries. Her father, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, are both charged with murder and child abuse in the case. Rebecca's funeral is today at the St. Clair of Assisi Catholic Church off Bell Road in Surprise, followed by a graveside service at Holy Cross Cemetery in Avondale. And now an ABC15 update to our running dry coverage. In Arizona, the biggest water user by far is agriculture. The industry is using over 70% of the state's water a year. Amid a drought and water shortages, many question why we farm in the desert. While it may seem impractical, Arizona's climate is perfect for farming. The weather allows for year-round growing, and the lack of rain helps farmers dictate exactly how much water their crops will get. Many of our state's farms are in Yuma, where 90% of the leafy greens Americans eat in the winter months are grown.
The best place to grow crops is where there's the most sunlight to produce photosynthesis to grow crops. And in the wintertime, it's this area of the United States if you want winter produce. Otherwise, we won't have winter produce.
Yuma is widely recognized as the sunniest place on Earth, receiving an average of over 4,000 hours of sunshine annually. The ABC15 Smart Shopper team is tracking the impacts of President Donald Trump's tariffs, and we know prices at the grocery store, they continue to go up, including the price of beer. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese found ways to enjoy your favorite beer without going broke.
Americans love their beer, but you may have noticed it's getting a bit more expensive to crack open a cold one. So we found some ways where you can still enjoy your favorite lager or ale and save money on your next pint.
So this is our brew house. So this is where we actually make beer.
Brian Jackson is the founder of Esoteric Brewing, one of thousands of craft breweries struggling with rising costs.
It started probably in 2022, I believe, is when the inflation period really started to rise, and nothing's really kind of backed off.
He says everything from his electric and water rates to ingredients are up sharply. How can you keep your beer budget in check? He says think light.
I would say a light lager. We tend to find that that's the easiest and cheaper beer that we can make.
Among regular strength beers, he says ales are cheaper. Lagers cost more because they take longer to make. And IPAs cost the most because they require more hops.
They want more flavor or more hops, in their beer, then, we got to push that envelope, but then that increases the cost.
Bart Watson of the Brewers Association says increased tariffs on aluminum are also hitting breweries hard. And it's a matter of time before you're seeing increased prices on store shelves.
Some brewers may choose just to eat the increase in cost and see their margins get reduced. But I think we will see it show up in consumer pricing.
Watson says prices are rising for imported raw materials, too.
New Zealand hops, German hops, or German malt for brewers that are making specialty products.
He also believes it's about what consumers will pay for.
Now's the time where you get to vote with your wallet. That's going to drive brewer choices.
So if your favorite brewer has to raise prices a bit, cut them some slack.
We do have to figure out a way to cover some of those costs so that we can be a sustainable business.
And raise a glass so you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
Tracking your most accurate forecast on this Monday, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. More extreme heat in the forecast later this week. Today, not there yet, but we'll be close here in the afternoon. Starting off with temperatures in the upper 80s in the morning under mostly clear skies. Maybe a few sprinkles for some of you, and mainly parts of Gila and Pinal counties, not so much in the valley. 101 at midday and 108 for the forecast this afternoon, which is 3 degrees above normal for this time of year. Northern Arizona, high staying in the 80s in Flagstaff and the south rim of the Grand Canyon. 91 in Window Rock, 98 there in Globe, and 100 in the El Pueblo, and 110 as you head toward areas like La Paz County. Extreme heat expected to return, though, later this week. Close tomorrow with a high of 109, then 111 by Wednesday, with those extreme heat watches in the valley taking effect Wednesday and lasting through Friday. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures as hot as 112 on Thursday, but storm chances picking up later this week and this weekend, too. Same in the high country, as high as 70% on Saturday, with highs in the 80s and lows in the 50s.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, you can always head on over to ABC15.com or download that free ABC15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.